Hi guys, welcome back to the world of 28mm. So in this episode, this is going to be part 2 to our oil spill terrain test. So get your woodland scenic water effects ready and your citadel washes together, and let's go down to the table. Have fun.
Okay, so here we are, guys, and you can see here that this is my phone's going. What was I saying? Yeah, here we can see this is the Vallejo that we mixed last night with all the colours. You can see it's nice and dry. Okay, nice and solid, and we've got a nice little array of colours on there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add a very dark grey over the top of this, because we don't want to lose those colours, but we also don't want them to be as bright as they are, because they're not going to be that bright in real life. So what I'm going to do is mix some of the realistic water effect here with some Nuln oil. Okay, it's just the Citadel wash that you can buy, and we're just going to put about 3 or 4 drops of that in. So let's pour out a bit of the Woodland Scenics realistic water into a shot glass. We don't want much, we just want enough to... That might be a little bit too much, but that's okay. We can reuse that. I'll just give that Nuln oil a bit of a shake. Over here so you can see a bit better what I'm doing. Okay, and we're just going to take our Nuln oil, and you usually only need a couple of drops, so we'll see. So we'll go for 2 for now. 1, 2. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to put some more in there, so try another. Let's put 5 more in. 2, 3, 4. Off you go. 5. There we go. So let's mix that up. Like I say, we don't want it to be too dark because you still need to be able to see through it, but we also want that black, so that it also with this woodland scenic stuff, because it always starts out clear, if you put a colour in it, it fades the colour. So when you put a black in, it might turn a little bit grey, but it will dry black or tinted black. Right, okay, I'm quite happy with that. So you can see there we've got, it's like it will be black, but it looks more dark grey at the minute, because like I say, the realistic water, it dries clear, but it's cloudy when it's in the bottle. It's got like a white colour to it, so it will sort of fade any colours you put in, but that will dry black because the realistic water dries clear. Okay, so we've got that nice and mixed up, and then from the point of where the barrel's going to be, so where it starts there, we're going to pour it from there and just let it sink into all of the little divots in the rock. So I'm going to put this down while I do it. Do it very slowly. There. Yeah, I'll just wiggle that about and get it level. Yeah, so you can see there we've got the grey liquid gathering at the bottom. So I'm just going to cover the rest of the... I might not use all of this, we'll see. A bit over this side. Tease it to those edges. Okay, now you don't want to pour this stuff too deep, because the deeper you pour it, the longer it's going to take to cure. That's probably a couple of mil thick. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. I've still got a little bit of in the bottom of the mug, but that's cool. We'll either use that for something else or we'll mix some more. Okay, so that's our second stage. So we've got our base colours underneath of our 4 inks. We've then got a mix of the realistic water with some known oil. How many drops was it in the end? 7 drops in the end to bring it to that black. So we're going to leave that 24, possibly 48 hours because I've added extra moisture. So we'll come back when it's dry, and then we'll put our final layer over the top, and then we'll put our iridescent sheen over that, and we'll have our final product. Okay, so see you when this is dry. Okay, so here we are back at the table, guys, and we've got our next stage for our oil slick. Okay, so you can see here it's all nice and dry. Sorry about the shininess of the light above, but hopefully you can see all the nice little colours we've got underneath, and then it's covered over by that nice black tint that we did in the last session. Okay, so on this stage what we're going to do is we're going to put a little shot of Agrax Earthshade tint into the realistic water. Now you look at oil spills, and you know a fair bit sits on the surface, but a lot of it does sink because oil is denser than water. So we want to recreate that by just sort of taking away that harsh blackness that we've got at the minute, and just put a little bit of brown over the top. And it should recreate that quite nicely. Then once we've done that, we'll let it dry, and we will come back and work on the iridescence. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix up a little bit of the Woodland Scenic realistic water we've got there, and we'll just do a little cap still on there, and we'll just do what we did before and put a little tipple in the bottom, because we only want that little bit to cover over the top. And then we'll have to do this by trial, because I'm not sure how many drops it's going to take. So do 2 for now. We don't want it to be too dark, because we don't want to cover up all those nice little colours that we've got at the bottom, and we don't want to get rid of that black. So right, it's 2 drops gone in there, so I'm just going to give that a quick mix and see how that comes out. Okay, definitely going to need quite a bit more than that, I reckon. Yeah, maybe 10 drops in total. 1, 2. We'll go for 5 more. So that'd be 7 all in total. And there we are. Let's give that a yeah, that's better. That. Can you see that nice colour? That nice brown going into it. Now, the same as the black, you know, this realistic water, it does start off cloudy. So, do you know what? Actually, I might. Actually, yeah, I'm going to put a tad bit more Agrax in here. 7, 8. I've lost count of how many we're on now. 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 11. So let's give that another. Just try and get this in shot for you. So if you haven't already noticed, I've got a different camera, because I quite enjoyed that first person mode that we did in the moulding video. So I got a little cheap GoPro, and that's how you're viewing it right now. So right, that's nice and mixed. You've got a nice little brown tint to it. Like I said, It will look a bit pale to start off with because the realistic water starts cloudy and then dries clear. So the white from the cloudiness will affect the look of the colour, but it will dry same colour as Agrax Earthshade. Okay, so that's it, that's nice and mixed. So we're just going to pour a little thin layer, just put that down there. Okay, so we're just going to pour a nice little thin layer from the point of origin again. There we are. Just going to let that, just put a little bit in there for now. So like I say, we don't want much, we just want a thin layer to cover over that black. So drizzle a little bit more in there. There. And we'll use the cocktail stick. You can tease this stuff around there like that. So we'll just get all that browny goodness to the edge. Can we see? I don't know if you can see it very well on camera, but it's all starting to blend quite nicely. There we go, so there's our brown tint with our Agrax Earthshade. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Okay, we're going to let this again. Usual cure time for these realistic waters, 24 hours. So, and because I've put a little bit of Agrax Earthshade in it, might take another little bit longer. So, come back to this in 24 to 48 hours. We'll see how it's dried, and then we'll work on the iridescence, put the finishing touches, and job's a good one. Okay, so I'll see you soon, guys.
And that's the conclusion of part 2. Okay, so it'll start resembling looking like something now. Now that you've got your first proper layer of woodland scenics on. So like, share and subscribe, and watch out for part 3.